what's in it, so we can know what's in it. That's right. We are now finding out her words were more true than anyone possibly dared to imagine because of what we're finding out right now about what was in that bill. So that bill passed March 21st. Harry Reid's bill was snuck under the noses of the senators. Again, this is Christmas Eve, 2009. It was a brand new bill. I will guarantee you not one senator read that bill that they voted on Christmas Eve because the final version was given to them at that morning before they took that vote. Same with the House of Representatives. Why do you think they didn't want any of the 535 members of Congress, 100 senators, 435 House members, to read this bill? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that all of you out here were treated in such an insulting fashion by your government that your government would not let you know what's in the most transformative piece of legislation ever to pass the United States Congress? It's bad news, that's right. You're exactly right, because there's a lot of bad news. Maybe you would have put up a stink. Do you think maybe that's it? They saw you come up to the healthcare rallies. Any of you come up to those healthcare rallies? Oh, God bless you for coming up. We had healthcare rallies. I kind of think they knew what the American people thought about that bill when they were voting on it. But this is what many members of Congress don't even know. Now imagine this. The President of the United States, the Speaker of the House, and the Leader of the Senate passed a bill that no one even knew of the 535 members of Congress that the bill was already funded for the next 10 years. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know it. No, not through the stimulus. Not through the stimulus. I didn't know it. Nobody knew this. Maybe Max Baucus knew it. The finance chair of the Senate, maybe he did. I know my husband and I, we were on a driving trip at Christmas. We were listening on the radio to these debates going on in the Senate because the House had adjourned by that time. And maybe some of you heard the audio clip where the chairman of the Finance Committee in the Senate was on the floor talking about Obamacare, and the radio hosts that were playing this audio clip, it sounded like slurred speech from Max Baucus. Did any of you hear this? It sounded like he was drunk when he was on the floor of the Senate. Well, maybe that's why we got the bill that we got. I don't know, but let me tell you what's in that bill. This is absolutely shocking news. Contained in the bill is pre-funding to put into place the Obamacare. This is how much funding that they put in the bill. Over $105 billion. By the way, this is a lot of money. This is a lot of money. This would run the state of Minnesota, and we are one of the top welfare healthcare states in the country, most generous states. This would run the state of Minnesota for over 3 years. Everything. This is a huge amount of money. Do you think that maybe it just slipped Nancy Pelosi's mind? Oh, I forgot to tell the House members there was funding in this bill before they voted on it. Do you think maybe with Harry Reid, oh, I forgot to tell the senators that there's $105 billion in funding in this bill? This has already been appropriated. It's done. If Congress does nothing, Barack Obama will spend $5 billion of this year. This is money that will be spent between now and 2019, and it is done. Over. Finito. Done. Unless we claw it back. Now maybe you heard that when we passed H.R. 1, when we had 90 hours of debate and we were trying to do our defunding, we had defunded everything from Planned Parenthood to, maybe you heard that we defunded Obamacare. Did any of you hear that? We did defund Obamacare out of any money that would be in that current continuing resolution or future monies. We did defund that, but we didn't even realize as recently as that debate that this money was in there. That's how hot off the presses this story is. Let me tell you something else we found out in Obamacare. There's a provision in that bill called Section 1311A that gives Kathleen Sebelius, the Health and Human Services Secretary, an unbelievable gift. It is an unlimited credit card. I was on Greta Van Susteren's show the other night, and on Greta's show, I held this up and I told her that she asked me, she said, well, when Kathleen Sebelius has this right to an unlimited credit card, Greta Van Susteren asked me, does that mean that that's limited to this amount of money, or is that beyond? And I said, no, it's limited. I am here to stand corrected. I was wrong. It is unlimited, truly. So you know what this means? That means the end of federalism in the United States, because literally if California is bankrupt, or if Florida is bankrupt, or if the state of New York is bankrupt, they can pick up the phone, call Kathleen Sebelius, say, we ran out of money to implement Obamacare. Could you send us another $14 billion? Sure thing. Let me go down to the Treasury. It'll be there this afternoon. That's what this provision means. Not only that, in Section 402, she gets another in perpetuity slush fund at her discretion of $2 billion going forward. She can spend that any way she likes. She also has in Section 402 another $16 billion slush fund that she can tap anytime she wants, supposedly to put into place the new health care exchanges, but she can use it for anything she wants. Here's Section 4101A, $230 million for school-based health clinics. So now the federal government wants to stick health clinics, quote unquote, into your child's school. In St. Paul, Minnesota, we got the first federal government supported health clinic in our schools. And I will tell you what the purpose of that health clinic was. It was to dispense all sorts of birth control to underage kids and to give them abortion information. Now, you may have various views on this issue. My opinion is it's up to the parents to make the decision about of the schools, and this $230 million has been fought over. This issue has been fought over since the 1970s, and all the radical liberals in Congress decided to put this in, and once and for all, make sure that every school gets their own, quote, clinic, so that the school then can have dominance, in my opinion, over your child's health care decisions. This is the most profound deception that I think I have ever seen perpetrated on the American people and on their duly elected representatives. And whether you agree with your representative or not, your representative deserves to know that when they cast their vote in favor of Obamacare, they were simultaneously voting for $105 billion to fully implement this terrible program. So this is the pickle we're in right now. We thought when we gave the gavel to a conservative House that we wanted them to repeal Obamacare, and we did vote to repeal Obamacare, but of course Harry Reid will have none of that, Barack Obama will have none of that. But because we hold the power of the purse, we thought at least the House of Representatives could not fund Obamacare, so we wouldn't see it implemented. But you see, the radical left, the statists, they already figured that out. They knew you wouldn't like the government takeover of health care, and they saw that the election results, in all likelihood, would happen in 2010, that we'd lose one or both of the chambers, and they lost the House. So they wanted to make sure that nothing would foil their plan. That's why they put that funding into place. This is such a deception. I am calling on the President of the United States, the current leader of the Senate, and I'm calling on former Speaker Nancy Pelosi to apologize to the American people for the deception that they put upon them. They have to apologize immediately to all of us. This is the greatest deception we have seen the government put over on its people, and we need to demand and insist that immediately they agree, because in the next continuing resolution to fund government between March 18th and the end of the fiscal year, which is September 30th of this year, because as you know, we passed a 2-week continuing resolution that funds the government from this Friday until March 18th. I voted against